Hello and welcome back to the Content Podcast. I really did hope that it would be a busy summer for Manchester United, and it seems that way. They were in dire need ever since Cristiano Ronaldo decided to do a very controversial interview anyway of a striker at Manchester United, and it very much seems like that's the way. Rasmus Hojlund to Manchester United has been confirmed, and who else better to get Manchester United fans excited about their new number 9 than the European football expert Kev Hatchard. Kev, many thanks for joining me. Take us through it. Hojlund, is he the next Haaland?
Well, let's not go too far. I don't think anybody's the next Haaland, to be honest. But look, he's exciting. I think he's somebody that has a really interesting skill set. I think he's somebody that has shown he's a good finisher. You know, the way he strikes the ball. I think he's a really interesting technical player. But it's early days. You know, this is somebody who I think only made his debut at 17. Obviously, that is young, but we're only 3 years on from then, pretty much. So it's not a long track record. And I think what you don't want is a situation where all of the pressure is being piled on him immediately, because there have been those Haaland comparisons, because he's got a burst of pace and his name's pretty close. So you know, he's from that part of the world. But it's very early days. I think what it shows, again, is Atalanta's ability to spot talent and to develop it. And again, they're laughing because, you know, they've made a significant profit on a player and they know what they're about. And the fact that, you know, he's been banging in goals at international level for Denmark, so they're very excited about him, rightly so. But it's going to take a little while. And I think it's the right time to get somebody like that in, because with Ten Hag, he has very specific requirements. He has a lot of information he wants to give to players. And so now's probably the right time to do that. But I think there needs to be an element of patience. I don't think it can be brilliant. He's in, he's going to get 25 goals in the first season. He might, but he might not. So I think there needs to be an element of patience with him.
It makes me laugh because patience and Manchester United fans, unfortunately, do not go into the same sentence. But you know, I think it's certainly something that's really exciting for Manchester United fans. It's a striker through the door, and as you say, hopefully a bit of patience is provided for him to really reach the levels of potential that hopefully he's been showing. So take us through that then, Kev. If he does, you know, obviously become fortunate enough to be a player that really does hit the ground running, not necessarily just next season, but you know, for the few years ahead, hopefully at Manchester United. How high is that ceiling for Hojlund?
I think high. I mean, it's always a really tricky one, because it can be affected by so many things. You know, and if we're talking about United, Jadon Sancho is a great example of that. Because just to go off on a tangent slightly, because I love Jadon as a player, I think he's tremendous, and I commentated on him many times in the Bundesliga, and having seen him take games by the scruff of the neck time and time again, you thought, wow, there's a real player here. Then he goes to United, he doesn't have the same structure, he doesn't have the same appreciation of what he's about in terms of runners around him and in terms of how to get the best out of his game. And he loses confidence entirely. And to the point where Erik Ten Hag had to take him out the firing line for a bit. So I would have said to you, when Jadon Sancho signed, he has a very high ceiling. And I still think he can find his way back to where he needs to be, wherever that happens to be. So with Hojlund, yes, all the pieces are there. The physicality, he's 6'3". You know, he's got that strength. He's got pace about him as well. He's not slow. And he's a finisher. And that's important. That's really important, because that's something, yes, you can work on. Yes, you can smooth the edges. But if you don't have that innate goal scoring ability and that instinct, it's a very hard thing to teach. So I think the fact that he's got that is a big plus. And if United manage him carefully, if they don't burn him out, if they manage generally as a team to function and give him the service, he's got every chance of doing really well.
Brilliant. It's exactly what I'm looking for in terms of the excitement levels going up here. But very finally, on Rasmus Hojlund, I do want to try and almost contain my excitement, because at the end of the day, Man United are sort of notorious in the post Alex Ferguson era of signing strikers who are past 30, and in obviously football terms, that's not exactly a spring chicken. He's not going to have 10 years potentially at Manchester United. But Rasmus Hojlund does have the potential to do that. He's got age on his side. He's obviously shown a lot of potential. But in terms of, obviously, as you've just said there, there's a lot of things to his game. His height, he's got a burst of pace, he's a finisher. What style of play do Manchester United need to provide to get the best out of Hojlund? Is it going to be through balls? Is it going to be balls over the top? Is it crosses? Does he like it into feet? Where would you say his strengths are in terms of a style of play for Manchester United to look forward to?
Well, I think the interesting thing is that I think he's young enough, and he does score all types of goals. So I think he's young enough to mold to whatever they do. But the key is going to be service. There's no point having a guy there who can score lots of goals if he's not going to get the service. The other thing as well is he's going to be required to do a lot of out of possession stuff. And I think he's got the athleticism to do that, and he's got the speed to do that. So I think it's just, again, it's going to be down to downloading that information from Erik ten Hag. And I think they can kind of meet him halfway. So as long as he gets the ball in the right areas, and he's shown, you look at his expected goals figures, he's bang on the money in terms of his finishing. He's a goal a game for Denmark. I think he was pretty much a goal every other game for Sturm Graz, and he only had a short time there. So the numbers are good, but you have to get him the ball. So I think it's going to be down to United's continuing that journey in terms of actually what Erik ten Hag wants. But the out of possession stuff is going to be almost as important as the in possession stuff. And I see no reason why he can't learn that.
Absolutely. Kev, brilliant as always. Thanks a lot for that. And Manchester United fans, time to get excited. You've got yourself a striker, a young striker, and hopefully a man that can take Manchester United back to where they feel like they belong, which is at the top of English and European football. Kev, thanks a lot. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in today's episode. Please be sure to like and subscribe and follow on all the social media for more content by The Content.